Today on Shop Talk, we're going to be discussing common adjustments and laying tips for our Reddick mulch layers. I'm your host, Jonathan Spence. Let's get in it. Laying mulch is probably one of the most finicky topics in agriculture. The soil prep has to be just right, and everyone knows soil moisture is so crucial. I work all over the world with many different soil types, and I can tell you there are no two farms that are exactly the same. On this episode, we're going to be talking about a few tricks that I've learned that might help you where you live. The first step is to create the proper bed. You want to have a fully compacted flow coming through the machine. In many cases, the machine will not be properly adjusted from the factory for your soil type, much like the machine we're going to be looking at today. Because of this, the very first thing I do is level the frame of the machine. If the frame is off, then your whole machine will be. Once you get it leveled, you just need to put it in the dirt. This shows you what you need to correct. My suggestion is to move one thing at a time. This ensures that you will know what has been fixed or what has worsened the problem. If you pull it for about 50 feet or so and the bed is hollow in the middle, then you're not pulling enough dirt. This can be caused from two things. Either your draft needs to be set deeper on your tractor or your ground is not worked deep enough. You can manually raise the pan to provide more depth for the gathering blades in relation to the pan height on the machine. This is accomplished by loosening the clamps on the pan standards and sliding it up. I often put C-clamps on the standards to keep the pan from falling once it is loosened. This process is actually best done in the shop with a floor jack. If you have the reverse problem of carrying too much dirt and it's boiling up over the pan, then you need to decrease your draft or lower your pan. Once you get your flow correct, you should shift your focus to the bed integrity. This is crucial to ensure your plastic stays down all season. High square shoulders are a sign of good moisture. Shoulders that break or slough off can be the result of dirt that is too dry. This problem is not the end of the world, but it does create problems later. The dirt that falls off the side of your bed just shallowed up the J-channel that your plastic should be laid in. This decrease in tuck depth will affect tightness and survivability in a wind event. It is always better to wait on proper conditions than spend an entire season chasing plastic. The firmness of the bed itself is very important as well. This is influenced by the angle adjustments on the press pan. If your bed top is loose and light, then you need to increase the angle of attack on the pan. If the dirt is fractured, then you need to decrease the angle of attack. These adjustments can be made on the struts running from the top of the standard to the back of the pan. Removing these 4 bolts will allow you to raise or drop the back of the pan. We've also added these 3 holes for fine adjustments once you get close. Also remember that a half turn on your top link can make a huge difference. Sometimes that is all you need, but be sure to keep an eye on the levelness of the frame. Once you're satisfied with the bed, it's time to load a couple rolls. Centering the rolls on the roll deck is the first step. Find the center of the roller and mark it. Measure your rolls, including the core, and divide that number by 2. Now move the roll retainers to that distance from the center mark. This process is imperative to ensuring enough tuck on both sides. The front roll should be loaded coming off the back. The rear position is reserved for the roll currently being laid, as it provides the most availability for input by the rider. You can put your hand on the roll for added tension when desired. The front roll position is strictly for backup and makes the speed change possible. We'll discuss that in a moment. Coming off of the roll, the mulch is fed under the crown roller. The mulch is then pulled out behind the machine and laid on the ground. The tuck wheels are lifted and the film is laid under them. Once you have all of this in place, you're ready to begin the test with the mulch. Pull forward and have someone stand on the film. The previously adjusted gathering blades and pan should create the perfect environment for the placement of the tuck and enough dirt for the covering disc. In many cases, your adjustments will be right and you're ready to get started. If you're having problems getting the plastic tied or tucked properly, you could be experiencing a problem in the J-channel. This is likely caused by the bed wall sloughing or worn out kickout wings. Pull the plastic and inspect. If the wall is tight, then you'll need to order a new set of kickout wings and replace them. Moving to the tuck wheel, you should see it running in the bottom of the J-channel with the film cup around reaching out just beyond the tire itself. In some cases, your plastic may be too wide and can cause problems as it will roll when the covering disc apply the dirt. Check with your sales rep to make sure you're buying appropriately sized plastic for your bed. The covering discs bring up the rear and complete the process. In many ways, the angle of this disc can either create or alleviate problems for you throughout the season. Laying these discs down in a less aggressive stance will give you a higher row middle. This is an advantage as the soil will stay flat in the rain. If these discs are in an aggressive stance, you'll create a low row middle, and the rain will wash the dirt off of the tuck down into the low row middles. Now, with all the troubleshooting complete, you should be laying some really nice tight plastic. Now I want to share a tip that I alluded to earlier, which is the speed change for our machines. This is a true time saver and will give your guys a boost in productivity. When you load the front roll, grab a handful of dirt. Place the dirt into a pocket created in the tail of the front roll and tie it into a knot like this. Once the rear roll gets down to around 50 feet or so, pitch the weighted end of the front roll under the crown roll. This will engage the front roll and the rear roll will run out, lapped over the front roll. This allows for a seamless transition between rolls. Once you get to the end, move the front roll to the rear position and reload. Repeat the process and you are ready for your next transition. If you have any more questions, or if I have failed to cover the problem that you're experiencing, please feel free to comment below. I'll be looking forward to talking shop with you soon. I'm your host, Jonathan Spence.